So about 7 months ago, I posted a video here on my channel talking about a book that I was currently reading. This book was the Satanic Bible. And today, I want to talk about some misconceptions regarding the Satanic Bible, Satanism, that you may or may not already know. One of the things that I found coming into this book is that I had a lot of preconceived notations of what Satanism was and what it was represented and the certain things that they believed, and I was very, very wrong on almost everything. The media, specifically television and movies and even other religions, like to bash the Satanic Bible for being this evil, terrible thing, when in reality, if you actually take the time, this is like $10 on Amazon, and read this through, even if you read the first 15 pages, I guarantee you, you will be blown away that this book is nothing like you think it is. It's always funny when people say Christians hear the Satanic Bible because their first jump is to say they worship Satan, when if you know anything about Anton LaVey, being a Satanist doesn't even involve believing in Satan. In fact, Satan doesn't even exist. Christians don't know that because, one, they don't even research it. Two, they're scared to research it because they think that they're going to be possessed by some demonic entity by reading such a book. Even so, when I brought this into my house, my dad told me that I had to get rid of the book. Of course, I didn't. I simply hid the book because he was instantly, upon seeing this, he was like, the book's evil. And he started throwing out misconceptions regarding Satanism, the Satanic Bible, to me, and I was just like, dude, have you ever taken the time to read it? No. But it has the word Satan in it, so it has to be evil. And today I just want to talk about some misconceptions of this wonderful book that I would highly recommend anyone who's interested in learning about this to read it. So let's begin. A common thing that movies, television shows, and religious people like to say is that Satanism is sex crazy. And by sex crazy, I mean that if you are a Satanist, or you identify as a Satanist, you fuck everything. If it's an animal, you fuck it. If it's a person, even if it's against their consent, you fuck it. You're like obsessed in this sex crazy form. And in a lot of movies and media, we see this portrayed this way. We see candles, you know, we see like a dark room with like an occultic symbols, right? And a bunch of candles are around, and somebody lays down, and someone does some weird ritual sacrifice, and then they have sex or something. And it's this really weird, perverted thing that movies like to pushed forward to trying to represent Satanism, and a lot of people, including myself at the time, thought that these things were actual representations of what Satanism was, when in reality it's not. Satanists believe in the concept known as free love, and all free love means, although religious people would like to tell you otherwise, free love means being able to express yourself sexually in any way you want, regardless of sexual preferences that other people may have or that you have. And you see, this is why I love Satanism so much, is because it encourages for people to express all forms of their sexuality in all forms without any shame, as long as that sexual expression does not harm anyone. And how many religions can you honestly say currently, right now, that exist right now, that embrace you expressing your sexuality, whether you're a homosexual, a transvestite, or someone who is transgendered? How many religions do that? How many religions stress expressing your sexuality? I would like to mention before we jump into this next misconception is that Anton LaVey named this the Satanic Bible to piss Christians the fuck off. Yes, that is one of the reasons why he named this. And rightfully so, because believe it or not, it did piss off Christians, which is this next misconception in regards to ritual sacrifice / animal / babies. Yes, this is something that yet again the media, movies, television, and even religious people like to point their fingers at and say, hey, look, these people who are Satanists are evil, 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 evil. When in reality, it's actually called Black Mass, which was essentially a parody, yes, a parody of Catholic Mass. It was actually an attempt to mock religious people who do Mass regularly. And boy, did it work. Because now a lot of people seem to think that it's an actual ritual thing that often occurs of, actually slaughtering babies and animals to Satan, which is not the case at all. Anton LaVey, or his branch of Satanism, does not believe in Satan or God. And of course, what I just said turns into the third misconception of Satanism. There are lots of misconceptions, but this is probably the most common one, is that if you're Satanist, you obviously worship Satan. And this is not the case at all. There are actually two types of Satanism. There is theistic Satanism, which actually believes in God and Satan, and then there's LaVey's Satanism, which is, I would actually classify more as an atheist movement, where it acknowledges that God and Satan do not exist at all. Period. No debate, no question, no argument. Many people may not know this, but the word Satan actually means accuser, opposer, and that's the whole intent of Satanism, was to oppose religion. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow reptiles. These are just a few of the main misconceptions of Satanism. I could go on and list a gazillion more. However, these are the main ones that religious folks like to spew out ignorance regarding the topic of Satanism, and I think it's really important that people understand what Satanism is before they believe these misconceptions and contribute to bringing negative stereotypes to something that I believe is, number one, not harmful, and number two, is actually the total opposite of what they try to portray it to be. Hope my reptiles learned something from this video, and my name is Daniel Solzbach, also known as Mr. Repzion. Thank you for watching this video, and peace the rep out, and again, buy this book. Maybe it will piss off your religious parents, like it did mine.